I'm doing this review today in my best William Shatner impression. And no, not even about this blaster, which we all know is a Type R, bird of prey, but about the spring that makes this blaster so goddamn great. It is so phenomenal that I cannot do this without a William Shatner impression. A very good, convincing William Shatner impression. It's a Melnor kick-free hose saver. It costs $5 at a Home Depot, and it has the most powerful spring ever put in a super stock pistol ever. It's a 3mm gauge, 4.5 inch, 10 coil spring, and with this spring you can do great and powerful things. Let me show you how powerful. Using a stock 12-inch piece of K&S brass that is unmodified with the exception of the ends deburred so that the darts do not strike. Let me show you real quick. By God, look at this. 253 feet per second out of something that looks like it belongs to a little woman. So how the hell do we take something that looks like it belongs to a little woman and actually make it so it can defy death? However do we do that? This, in Nerf terms, is as close as Sniper gets. And no, not because it has a pretty scope on it and a little stock. Which a lot of people will take recons and retaliators and make them think, oh gosh, it's Sniper now, it's got a freaking long shot scope on it. Oh, big the fuck deal. It's if it actually does work as a Sniper. Now, how do you compare that in terms of, oh, let's say, comparatively in Sniper? Because in real life terms, that's like 500 yards. Well, you compare it to the next best thing, which is, of course, Airsoft. Can this beat a Sniper Airsoft doing 550, 600 feet per second? And the answer is, oh yes it can. And the reason is very simple. The darts are heavier, bigger, and they're more aerodynamic. And therefore they have more carry, as well as the foam acts something like a bat mitten, whatever they call it. And that makes it so it can go farther. So effectively, this is just as good. So, now that we're done bragging about that, let's look at this. The Kink free. Right there. Now, unfortunately, because of the design, there's no way to save this hose section. You very simply just have to cut out the nylon tabs here. And once you've liberated it, you have to take this and you have to cut this hose off. And this is not as easy as one may think. You actually have to take some effort to do this. Take a knife here. Right, as you can see, I've just cut that a little. I only got a little back here that I have to cut. After much forcing and farfaroosing, we have found that I have taken that, and I have taken that, and I have liberated this massive spring. Wow! Look at this thing. It's ginormous, is what it is. It's also about 40 kilograms. That's right, 88 pounds of force when you take this out of there. This makes this an excellent spring. Unfortunately, it has to be used in the right platform. Even a long shot, barring that you don't have metal internals, and even if you had metal internals, well, I even think it would be too much for something like this. But not for a monster like a bird of prey. And after it does take a set, it gets around 24, 25 kilograms. Well, this one right here is backed by a magnet spring, and that, of course, gives it its great speed. But what you have to do after that is you have to take these high points. See the ends of the coils? You have to flatten these out. Otherwise, when you put it in the if you put it in the blaster, what it will do, it will bunch too much because that's too much of a differential right there. So to keep this from going wild, the spring in here is ground flat at both ends. Which, for a 3mm spring, that could take you a while. But that, my friends, is how it's done. That's the spring. It's very beautiful. It's a perfect size for something that has 2 1/3 inch of draw. And it is massively powerful. Let's roll that beautiful view footage again, shall we? Let's fire another dart through here. Same old 12-inch honed end K&S brass. Honed meaning that it's crowned, so it does not have any brass edges sticking on the inside. It's crowned like a real rifle barrel is crowned. That's not really hard to do because it's brass. Ooh. It would be nice if I primed it. How's the prime? It's brutal. Especially when you first get it, it's brutal. And as for catch spring, you need at least 6 kilograms of catch spring. Look at that. 240. This is not my fastest one, by the way. The fastest one is the L. But this is my most precise. 223, and that wasn't fast at all for this blaster. But every once in a while, you run into a bad dart. That sort of thing. $255. $269. So it is possible with the right dot to get this thing up to about 270 feet per second. It's not that hard. And our last dart. These are all Explorer X darts, by the way. 264. That, of course, 264 feet per second. With a high of 269, a low of 223, and an average of 247 feet per second. 247 feet per second. Imagine you have a 250 foot per second pistol that can shoot well outside of the 150s and with extreme accuracy and purpose. It's all possible with this.